One and all, we are excited about what God is doing. Many times we stay stuck on what God has done, but He's a present help. He's everything we need. He is our joy, our strength, and our hope. And so we're on just a little bit after the workshop for the Women of Purpose for today, and we're just going to be on here for just a couple of minutes, and then we're going to get out of here and chill out for the rest of the day. We get an opportunity to do that, and we're going to do it. Good midday to you, Rose. Good midday, Doe. How are you? Praying that all is just falling in line and in place. And even if it's not, guess what? It still all works together for your good. Minister Sarah, Nancy, how are you? Good midday to you, one and all. And we are just grateful and thankful for such an awesome opportunity and privilege to be a part of your learning experience. Good midday, Lisa and Thea. How are you? Grateful. Grateful to God for so many of you who are coming on to be a part of our learning experience real quick. Okay. Jali- Hello, Jaleesa. How are you? You know I ain't paid you no attention. Okay. Grateful for the privilege of being able to be in your life. God is able. Oh, bless His name, and for that we glorify Him. I'm going to wait about another minute, and then okay. So he saw the whole thing. Yeah, yeah, it was a mess. Good midday afternoon, Cora. Cora, you being good? I ain't heard from you in a while, so I probably need to check up on you. Usually you do a little check in every now and then, but ain't seen no check ins lately. So something's going on. So I gotta find out what you be up to. Timothy, how are you? Ethel, good to have you. Yeah, finally. I did, but I'm gonna rest today. Ah, bless His name. Elder Boundary, how are you? I'm trying to rest up as much as I possibly can. I've had 2 weeks in a row of running, and then it's still running. And yeah, I didn't see him jump out of the car. I just saw the car that he jumped out of, and it just kind of struck me a little odd. But I was rolling, and then next thing you know, it was on and popping, and I heard some noise, and come to find out, that he had shot at a couple of cars and all of that kind of stuff. Good midday, Barbara and Sabrina. How are you? Bless His name. Let me go ahead and get started. Wesleyan, how are you this afternoon? Listen, let me go ahead and get started. I'm not going to hold you up. I know it's cold outside. I don't care what the sun looks like. Okay. I'm going to get my rest, Elder. I'm telling you actually what I don't have to preach tomorrow because we have Pastor Shiloh Johnson is coming to preach for our Women of Purpose celebration Sunday. So I am going to, yeah, I am going to be on my couch down here in the man cave. I am going to work on a couple of sermons. Now I'm not going to sit back here and act like I'm going to be just completely, you know, it is basketball Saturday, and I'm gonna be watching it. Well, Barbara, I'm going to watch some, and some are going to watch me. Let me just go ahead and be completely and totally honest with that. So, yeah, I get to rest a little bit, and it's cold and windy. Hey, Ella May, dear, how are you? And it's going to be the same way tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, I believe that the wind chills will be so bad that it will feel like it's in the single digits. Katrina, how you be? How you be? How you be? Okay. And those that got the phone call, you should show up and be a part of our worship experience. Now that we have the doors open again, we do have limited participation, but the doors are still open, and we're just kind of watching for the latest variant that has popped up. So we're doing what we need to do. I don't know, Katrina. I honestly don't know what's today. All I know is I'm gonna be on this couch and I'm gonna be here. I get to do that. I got me some skinny popcorn and plenty of water, and I'm just going to enjoy my Terry. How are you, Denise? How you doing? Good midday. And so I'm gonna just do this, and I'm going to enjoy the day. Let's talk about how we should and how tournaments are today. March Madness. Okay, got you. March Madness. Okay, Nick, got you. Because Michael and Micah and Michael, okay, will be glued to their televisions. Oh, excuse me, when it comes down to March Madness, okay? Okay. Women of Purpose, I understand that the workshop was tremendous, and we're looking forward to a very powerful worship experience tomorrow. So, when we talk about Matthew chapter 6, it's known as the Lord's Prayer. It's also known as the model prayer. And when I got ready to talk about this, I said, I kind of need to give some understanding as to what this is all about. When we talk about Matthew 6 and Jesus's teaching of how to pray, he is not saying that you should repetitively say the exact same thing that he said. What he is trying to get you to understand is you must understand the principles of competency, confidence, and priority. I need us to get this because I wrote it down, because when it hit my spirit and I looked at it in the Greek to better understand, we need to understand the principles of competence, confidence, and priority. This is what Jesus is trying to reveal to us. And this is the reason why he is reprogramming his hearers from what they have been accustomed to how prayer should be. That's why he takes so much time to help us to understand what prayer should not be. It should not be something that shows off. It should not be something that causes glory to come to you. It should not be something that brings attention to yourself, because he actually says, and I went back and dug a little bit deeper, when it talks about going into your closet or into your room and shutting the door, what it actually was is an extension of the house that you could go into and close the door behind you. And by closing the door behind you, it represented you closing the issues, the trials, and the trauma that you have been dealing with. And I think this is important, because one of the things that I have learned that the enemy is notorious at, and I really want you to catch this. If you don't catch it, I really need you to catch this, because this is extremely important. If you don't learn how to shut out the trauma, if you don't learn how to get away from the annoyances will drown out the conversation between you and God. I mean, think about this for just a moment. Think about how many times God has prompted you to talk to him in prayer, but you got sidetracked, or something happened, or the phone rang. That's the reason why I keep my phone on vibrate. I don't want to hear it ring, especially in those moments when God and I are having these conversations. And so in the midst of this, he is saying that what you should do is there is a designated place that you shut the world out so you can hear from God. Now think about this. If back then they needed seclusion, what makes us think that we don't need it now? What makes us think that we don't need some place in our house that a phone can't get to, that a television can't get to? Pee Wee, how are you? Are you bowling, Pee Wee? I don't want to get you in trouble because I think your sister is there as well. And so I gotta get us to wrap our minds around the importance of having some isolated moments with God undisturbed. And this is what Jesus is trying to get us to see, because the posture that Jesus is presenting is diametrically opposed to the posture that the scribes, the Sadducees, and the Pharisees have been showing. Okay, at 2:00. Okay, all right, good. And I gotta get us to get this, because we have adopted the Pharisaistical posture of pomp and circumstances rather than recognizing that the God that we serve is waiting on us in that secluded spot, so that when you come out, not only have the people that you have gone before the Lord on behalf of their issues and their trauma, and seeing God work because of your intercession or interceding into the things that are going on in their lives, but then God, whom no one has heard you ask anything of him, but because of your heart toward him, has now, when you come out, rewarded you openly. He rewards you financially. He rewards you spiritually. He rewards you with new insight. He rewards you with renewed love and renewed determined. I wish. Because when we talk about rewards, yes, chapter 6 is dealing a lot with money. It's dealing with giving. It's dealing with how do we become good stewards with the revenue that we have been privileged to have. But God is also dealing with the fact that if you stand in the gap, when I ask you to stand in the gap, oh, glory to God, then I will bless you. Now, in the midst of my blessings are more than shoes and houses and cars, but I will bless you with wisdom. And if you lack it, ask of God, who gives liberally and upbraids not. Here's what God will do for you. He will not only give you favor, but he'll also give you influence. Woo! Woo! Go ahead, Pastor. I'm doing the best, because I'm gonna get out of here in just a few minutes. I need us to get this, okay? And so he says that go into that room, shut that door, have a conversation, because the Father who sees you in secret rewards you openly. Don't use don't use those phrases you know will get an amen. Because conversating with God, Bobby, conversating with God may be a matter of life and death for the person that you're interceding on behalf. And so while you're busy trying to be grandiose and you're sitting and looking at it from a position of I want people to look at me and to see me, you may be, or you may have caused someone to lose their life while you trying to be large, rather than being concerned about other people. Vernice, Raymond, I hope y'all heard what Joshua, I hope y'all hear where I'm coming from, because I think this is so important. Elaine, how are you, Elaine? I gotta get you to get this, because, and I know we don't take this real seriously, because when I talk about lives may be hanging in the balance, I ain't talking about people you know. God, on many occasions, have brought you through some things, not because your friends prayed for you, but there may have been someone over in China, Hong Kong, maybe even Russia, maybe in Australia, that God placed you in their spirit and they interceded. And so this is what you've got to understand, because the God that you serve has more servants than your friends. Oh, Nicole, I wish I had somebody to get that so you can, Joshua, you understand what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying? And so this is what you've got to do, okay? You don't need to be known for being flamboyant. You need to be known for being powerful. Woo! Don't use those vain repetitions, because heathens do that, okay? Why? Because we want people to pat us on the back. That's why we do some of the things we do. Let me move on, because I got to get into verse 8. Therefore, don't be like them, for your Father knows what things you have need of before you ask him. Now, that's a powerful, oh my God. If there's ever been, Marcus, if there's ever been an assurance that God will supply your need, he just said it. Now, in case you don't know this, the words are in red. And because the words are in red, Carolyn, he says, your Father. And this is, okay, what qualifies God to be Father? If you understand anything, because I'm going to deal with that when we get into verses 9. Who is a father? What is a father? How does a father conduct himself? This is something that you have to recognize and to understand. When we call him Father, it is because of a relationship that has been developed over time, whereby God has shown himself to be worthy of the honor of that name. Jesus, help me to teach this like you gave it to me. This is what many of us must recognize and understand. When I call him my Father, I am adhering unto him, or placing in his presence the fact that I trust him beyond just some regular or normal person. I am trusting him because you have shown me from the rocking of my cradle to my existence right now that you have been the Father I have needed, even when the Father I have needed was not there. You have not only become a substitute, but you have also become the very thing that I stand in need of, so that when I find myself going through some traumatic moments in my life, I call you Father, because you have shown your protection. You have shown your love. You have shown your willingness to provide for me and to be there for me when every human being has let me down. He's my Father. My Father knows what I have in need of. And get this, before I even ask, he has already appropriated the very blessings that I need. And all I got to do is not lose heart and make it to my due season. And every blessing, according to his riches in glory, have already got my name on it. And so I no longer concern myself with what somebody else has, or what somebody else drives, or where somebody else lives, or what somebody else wears. I understand that God is a Father who already knows what I need, and it will be there when I press my way. And God is not an Indian giver that he'll turn around and say, I'll do it to you and do it for you and do it with you and change his mind. I wish I had somebody. But I got to say this and then I'm gone. If he can't trust you with a little bit, do you think he'll give you a lot? And so what we're going to do, as we're going to talk about these principles when we get here. Therefore, don't be like them, for your Father knows the things that you have need even before you ask. In this manner, therefore, pray. Our Father in heaven, where the riches of his manifestation and manifold storehouse, abundant opportunities of unbelievable magnitude exist. Because, I'm getting ready to mess y'all up when I say this, every blessing is spiritual before it becomes material. Listen, I gotta go. I wanted to leave you with that little tidbit. Don't forget, won't be no snapshot tomorrow. Will not be the Sound of Blackness tomorrow. We're gonna probably do that next week with the Sound of Blackness, lining up some new people to be a part of that event. If you got your phone call, you come on in and let's worship the Lord. If you didn't get the phone call, go ahead and watch us online. Our doors are open. We are welcoming visitors to come, but we can only take up to about 125 to 130, social distance safely on the floor at this particular time. So listen, y'all stay warm, stay safe. I hope you caught that. Marcus Terry. I hope you caught that. I hope you caught it, Carolyn. I hope you caught it. Okay. Minister Sarah, I hope you caught it. And so I'm looking forward to being with you either in person or virtually. As I heard Lady Harrison say, I want to see your face at the place. Glory to God. Love you from my heart. Love you from my soul. And I am praying that God's richest blessings, and until the blessing shows up, that God's ability to show you how to persevere, because greater things are on the other side of the perseverance than when you began. That God will keep you in perfect peace. May God bless you and may he keep you is our prayer.